Okay, so I'm gonna now use the borescope and check inside the oil pump tube, filler tube. Okay, so I'm gonna clean the whole seal with a brake cleaner, and especially right here where the oil pickup tube goes. Okay, so here's my new pickup tube. You can tell there are clear welds around the tube itself, and a brand new screen in there.
Sunshine on my shoulders. I'm alive and breathing, living my best life. Love is on my mind and it's making me high. I'm staying in this moment, though it's hard sometimes, but I work it out every once in a while. I feel the love, I feel it growing every day. I feel the love, I feel the love. I hope it never goes away. I feel the love, love, love. Feel the love, love, love. I feel the 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 love. I feel the
Okay, so one of the next things I'm going to be doing is dropping the fuel tank, which is under this panel here. And in order to drop the fuel tank, I need to get rid of the throttle cable from blocking it. I need to get rid of the emergency brake cable. And then I need to get rid of the shift cables here. Not get rid of them, just get them out of the way so I can drop everything here in this section. So for the shift cables, let's see, those are up there, and they come down on this side of the transmission. They're in this little hanging bracket, and then they got another bracket right here. And so I got to disconnect those from the top of the engine and drop those down and through. For the throttle cable, I'm going to have to, that one runs up through here. You can sort of see it back there, and then up over top of the engine around to where the throttle is. I'll have to disconnect it from the throttle and then feed the cable all the way down through here. And I think the handbrake is probably the easiest because it's just this cotter key right here that separates this cable from this one. And so I will be taking that down. That's going to be a little bit later once my gasket is dry enough. Once the gasket is dry enough, I'm going to torque all those bolts and move on to the next one. Those two came out pretty quick, pretty easy. So real quick, these are the bolts that hold on that tray, which I've now washed off and cleaned off under the fuel tank. And I've cycled them all through the ultrasonic cleaner here. You can see how dirty the water is. Here are the last couple bolts I need to take out here. And then the under tray for the fuel tank will be taken out, or will be done. And then now I need to, let's see, I'm going to need to jack up the car to take this wheel off to access the fuel filler tube that's up there. Okay, so this is what we did. We jacked up the car on the lift. I've got two jack stands here. I've got a bottle jack. This is jack point D, if I remember right, for the car. It's not ideal, but I'm going to need to do it so that I can access the filler neck through that opening over there to drop the fuel tank. And now I'm going to take this wheel off and we'll go from there. Also, because I'm taking this wheel off because I want to access the air box and the intake, because I'm going to need to clean those out as well after I get the fuel system down. So let's do one step at a time. All right, so here I am. I took the wheel off. The wheel arch lining is out. Well, there's still a whole lot more cleaning I got to do in here. And here's the fuel filler neck there. So there's a clamp up top. There's a clamp down below. And then I think that is on the top of the charcoal canister there is the it's the return, fuel return, I think, or something like that. That also goes down to the fuel tank and needs to be disconnected. So I'm going to disconnect that one from the top, and then I'm going to undo both of these clamps and see if I can pull this filler tube neck off. It might be hard. If I can't, I might wind up cutting it, replacing it. It's not that hard to do, but we'll see. All right, so that was it. I got it off. The way I did it was by using two hands. So I had one hand pushing on this one hand pushing on this one. Now I'm gonna put a bag over this and stop that off so no dust and stuff gets in there. I'm getting a new charcoal canister, but I'll probably put the bag on top of there too. Okay, so I'm going to use the next 228 seconds of this video to provide my psychology snippet for today. So this car isn't working, and when something important isn't working, the way that it should, it's important to sort of slow down, inspect it, gather information before making decisions or moving forward. And that's what's happening here. I'm taking a careful look at the whole fuel system before putting it back into use. Seeing a psychologist often follows the same or a similar logic, right? We seek help not because something's necessarily wrong, but because stress, anxiety, burnout is starting to interfere with how you think, feel, or function sometimes. I like to say that psychologists are masters of the obvious, right? We're trained to help identify what's happening, not necessarily just on the surface, but also beneath the surface. We look for patterns, pressures, reactions that aren't obvious in daily life. And the goal of working with a psychologist isn't to label or judge, it's to understand. Because early attention really can prevent smaller issues from becoming bigger ones, and it can help people perform better under real-world demands. Right? So working with a psychologist isn't necessarily a sign of weakness. It's really a sort of a practical step towards working towards clarity, resilience, and long-term functioning. Much like routine inspection or maintenance in any system that matters to you. My goal as a psychologist is to make myself not be needed in the end, right? A good psychologist won't give you advice necessarily. They're going to help you find your way with systems that work well for you. So if you've ever thought about working with a psychologist or dealing with issues that might benefit from it, hopefully, at least watching this video series or learning some things as part of this video series can help you feel more comfortable with that. Anyway, back to the video and let's finish. So, put the oil filler tube in, forgot to take the plastic bag off, so now I'm probably going to have to cut that plastic bag off. You can see it to make that connection, and that might have also made part of the reason why it was so difficult for that to get in yesterday, but I will take that bag off and I'll move these tubes around to the spot that they're supposed to be. Go from there. Alright, so you can see my struggles. There's my filler tube, and there's my fuel tank line. It goes down. And of course I put the bracket on the bottom and tightened it in a direction that I can't loosen it. At least not easily. I have to figure something out there. And then I'm stuck here. Alright. Looks pretty tight. That's on there. Looks good. So while I'm here, I cleaned the fuel filler cap area here. Got that all nice and clean. I put a little silicone spray on the rubber seal here. Hopefully that'll help preserve that. Okay, I'm not sure what's all going to make this video, but I got to start doing the air system. So I'm going to take out the snorkel, the air box. I got to wash that. I got to get rid of that filter and replace it. I got to clean that whole section off. Got to take out the mass airflow filter, or mass air filter, the airflow monitor, the MAF sensor, whatever that is. I got to take that out and then get to the throttle body. We'll see how it goes. And I will let you know along the way. I need an 8mm socket, a 10mm socket, a trim tool, and a flathead screwdriver. here we go. So as soon as I looked, I found out I was wrong. I actually need a Phillips head for the MAF filter and for a bunch of things that are connected to the air box. So don't need the flathead just yet. So here's my mass airflow sensor. There's a little bit of silt up there. It is held on with two absolutely tiny screws. Those right there on the throttle body. This is my throttle body. You can see, or not my throttle body, sorry, it's my air intake. You can see the silt all the way in here. That looks pretty bad. Luckily I've got another one that I'm just going to be replacing this one with, or I'll clean this one, I'm not sure. But I definitely got to clean this part. So, and the evap sensor, I had to pull this hose off. The hose for the evap sensor goes to the bottom of the rest of the air box over there. So I'll be taking that out next. One more thing with this sensor is that there's a little tiny O-ring, which you can barely see right there. That needs to go with whatever sensor goes in. That's the air protection, or it stops the airway. Aha. Okay, so tonight's project is to take off the throttle body, which is right here, and the goal is to remove that and then look behind it to see how much silt got through this throttle opening. We saw from the air intake, which has now been fully replaced, there's the new one, and again I got gloves covering the openings there, that air intake was loaded with silt and water was halfway up. So I know that water at least got up here and was in the throttle connecting tube there, and so now it's just a matter of taking this off, cleaning the sensors, and figuring out what got behind it to see if we need to take the intake manifold off. So that's the plan for tonight, and I'm gonna get to work. All right, so where I'm at is I have clamped off the two radiator hoses. Those roll to the IACV valve, the idle control valve. They keep it from freezing in the wintertime. So I blocked off those hoses. Now I actually need to remove those hoses from it, but I think I'm going to actually pull off the throttle body first. I've disconnected the throttle sensor, which is that sensor right there, and the IACV sensor, which is the one down there. And then I'm going to get those bolts off, pull it off, and then I'll disconnect the hoses that are on the bottom that you can just barely see right there above the shift linkage.
Can't find a time where I can tell ya what I feel now. Been biting my tongue for a while. The words just wanna come out. I'm too afraid to be rejected. It's so expected. I feel like I'm out of my mind.
Well, first look is not so good. Looks like mud there, mud on the gasket. And let me take a look in here. There is, oh, look at that. There's an active muddy water inside. Oh man, that whole thing's gonna have to come off. Oh wow. Oh, look at that. There's water in there. All that cleaning I was doing might be for nothing. Oh, shit. Look at that. Okay.
Can't find a time where I can tell ya what I feel now. Been biting my tongue for a while. The words just wanna come out. I'm too afraid to be rejected. It's so
Okay, before I even come up with a real plan for how to deal with this, I'm going to try and get as much of the water out as I can now that I found it there and as quickly as possible. So I've got this fluid pump from Harbor Freight. I'm going to try and fit it in there. Just get it in and then have it come out to this bucket here. And let's try to see what we can get out. Well, that's some water.